Hello and welcome everyone to the latest edition of Big Data Talk. I'm your host Ahmed Faiq. Today I have a very special treat for you. I have a guest speaker who is an expert in the area of big data. He recently published a blog named Data Manipulation in Predictive Analytics. Please welcome Sam Alessandrino.
Thanks, Faiq. Hello everyone, good to be here.
Let's have a look at the agenda for today. We're going to be talking about big data, data manipulation, RStudio, and a demonstration in regards to RStudio finally before concluding. So Sam, what is this big data thing that we've been hearing about nowadays?
Yeah, look, certainly, Faiq. The term big data has been thrown around a lot in recent times. A simple way of describing big data is the growth in volume, complexity, and disparity of data. Now, whilst many people focus on the word big, this simply does not refer to the size of the data. If it was just a case of a capacity issue, then the solution to all of big data's challenges would be fairly simple, just increase storage size. Instead, big data refers to the environment in which datasets have grown too big to be handled, managed, stored, and analysed in an acceptable timeframe. So looking at Floyer's attributes of big data, he describes them as being very large. We're talking zettabytes, petabytes, and exabytes. Distributed aggregations of loosely structured data. Flat schemas with few complex relationships. And often involving timestamped events made up of incomplete data.
That's a very interesting way to put things, I can imagine, given the volume, complexity, and disparity, that it must be really difficult to do data manipulation.
Indeed, big data comes with its challenges, Faiq. So this would range from data discovery, just due to the size and volume of the data being created. So we're talking, petabytes, zettabytes of data here. The variety of data being stored. So the large majority, 80% of this being unstructured data. So by unstructured, I'm talking things like pictures, weblogs, video clips, text messages being stored today. In the social media world, they actually refer to this as content as opposed to data. Most importantly to data manipulation though, velocity, which describes the speed at which data is being generated, stored, and analysed. So that's the big one there, the velocity. Considering all these factors though, we also know that the larger the data set being processed, the longer it will take to analyse.
Data manipulation. We've talked about it a lot of times today. Isn't data manipulation a bad thing?
Yes, generally when we think of manipulation, we tend to think of the negative connotations of that word. It's something bad, you're manipulating something, you shouldn't be doing that, that kind of thing. However, when preparing data for analysis and modelling, data manipulation techniques are critical to get the data in the correct state. When we talk about manipulating data for modelling and analysis purposes, we are referring to techniques such as filtering datasets for specific subsets we wish to analyse, enriching data using existing fields to derive new ones, and formatting fields for appropriate data visualizations. And most importantly, actually, cleansing the data to remove data quality issues that may impact our models and hence visualizations. So as you can see, Faiq, data manipulation is actually critical to big data analysis.
I see where you're going with that. So Sam, granted of all the challenges associated with big data, are there any tools that can be used to visualize and manipulate data?
I'm glad you asked that, Faiq, and thankfully, yes, there is.
Okay.
RStudio is one of them. So RStudio is a program that consists of a language plus runtime with graphics, a debugger, access assistant functions, and the ability to run programs from script files.
Okay.
In terms of functions, the RStudio uses its own language called R. However, there is an ability to interface procedures written in C++ as well. So if you're more familiar with that programming language.
Okay.
Best of all, the RStudio is a free source system and can pull in a multitude of different data sources, including CSV files, SPSS, SAS, databases such as Microsoft Access and SQL Server.
Mhm.
Furthermore, R is an excellent tool for doing all sorts of data manipulation. It's free, flexible, and fast,
Okay.
not to mention powerful.
Oh, that's nice. Sounds like an amazing tool. So, Sam, you're telling me that the R Studio and the R language can be used for filtering, cleansing, and enriching large data sets for data modeling and visualizing?
Yeah, absolutely. Using the dplyr installation package to work with data frames, there are some awesome functions in R that can be used to filter, enrich, and cleanse our data for later on when we need to analyze and visualize that data. Some of those functions include the select, filter, arrange, rename, and mutate functions.
So, Sam, could you just tell our viewers what exactly a data frame is?
Sure. So data frames are a key structure in R and in statistics in general. The best way to think about them is like a table in a database or Excel.
I'm going to ask you a really basic question here. Why don't we use MS Excel for data manipulation?
There's no such thing as a basic question here. Sure, Excel is fine for smaller data sets, and if you're used to using Excel, R might seem a little bit strange at first. However, when it comes to manipulating big data, R has three big advantages over using Excel. First of all, it's much harder to accidentally delete or change your data in R. R is more flexible and can do a lot more manipulation tasks. And you can work with much bigger data sets in R. I think we all have experienced a few Excel crashes in our time.
Yeah.
In fact, why don't, rather than talking about R, I give everyone a bit of a brief demonstration on data manipulation.
Yeah, that would be great. We'd love to see that.
Hi everyone, I'm now going to demonstrate the power of R when it comes to manipulating big data sets. So as previously discussed, you will need the dplyr installation package to perform these functions. And in terms of these functions that we'll be performing today, these are the select, filter, arrange, rename, mutate, and summarize functions. Just a little bit in terms of the data set we'll be using today. So this was taken from the Orbis Online database. It was exported in May 2017 as part of a previous assignment I had to do. In terms of what the information provides, it provides a list of publicly listed companies from the below selected countries and their market share prices for the years ending FY 2013, 14 and 15. Now, in terms of the business solution that we're looking to provide here, the question relates to which British companies had the highest average market price in the years 2014 to 2015. Okay everyone, so here we are with the RStudio program up and running. So just to save time, I have already read in our data. I've also read in the dplyr installation package. I've examined our data for data quality. In doing so, I examined and noticed that the market price 2014 and market price 2015 variables had NA values in there, so those won't work if we're wishing to calculate an average later on, so we'll need to remove that. I've also examined the variables in our data, so these are the 6 variables here. I've also renamed a couple of our variables, so company.name and ISO code have been simplified. I've removed any unwanted variables, so specifically the market price 2013 variable using the select function. I've then checked to make sure that market price 2013 was in fact removed, and it has been. I've then gone and cleansed our data to remove the NAs from market price 2014 and 2015, and also removed any other companies that were not British companies. So just to let you know, I did get an error that was thrown up, and that was due to myself not remembering that I changed the variable name from iso.code to just simply ISO, so I rerun that. Lastly, I just converted the market price 2014 and 2015 variables to numeric values for calculation later on. Okay, so the next step we're going to take is to enrich our data by deriving a new variable using the mutate function. So the new variable will be our average market price from 2014 to 2015. So to do this, we're going to set up a new data set called data 5. I'm going to lock that in. Next, we're going to use the mutate function on data 4. Next, we're going to name our new variable. So we're going to call it average market price. And we're going to set that to equal market price 2014 using the exact variable name so that I can read it. We'll just use a bracket as well just to make sure that we capture that calculation. So plus market price 2015 divided by 2 to get the average and close the bracket. So what you can see is that we've now got a new data set 5 that now has 5 variables, which has increased by 1 variable from data set 4. So the next step we'll do is to sort our data from highest to lowest on the basis of our new variable. So I'm just going to create a new line just to demonstrate that. So to do that, we're going to again refer to data set 5. Lock that in. We're going to use the arrange function, and this will be used on data set 5, and we're going to arrange it by our new variable average market price. So we just need to paste that in there and hit enter. So what that's now done is that's now arranged our data from lowest to highest by the average market price. So finally, the last step is just to view which companies have the highest average market price from 2014 to 2015, so answering our business question. And to do that, we're simply just going to use the tail function. So I'm just going to type in tail data 5. Excuse me, that didn't work. Data 5. And hit enter. And as you can see, we've now got the tail end companies with the highest values. So Jupiter Fund, Edinburgh Worldwide Investment Trust, RSA Insurance Group, Standard Life, and Foreign and Colonial Investment Trust. And that's the answer to our question.
Thanks for the informative demonstration, Sam. Now you can really see the capability of FAR in terms of data manipulation. Hope you all enjoyed the video. Please like, subscribe, and comment on the channel. Also, please don't forget to check out the link for the blog below.